This is a lesson. Excuse the fan. I have a fan on in my classroom, so it's kind of noisy. But this is a quick movie on significant figures and then the rules and examples are going to be given on the next few slides. I am reducing what they do in the book into 4 simple rules. These 4 rules identify significant figures. They do not identify non-significant figures. They just identify significant figures. If a digit is not identified as significant, then it is not significant. I don't rationalize it. I don't say why. Just move on. And then, on the last 2 slides, I'm going to give examples. And these examples will be specific. Each digit will be identified using the specific rule that identifies it. First rule, all non-zero digits are sig figs. There are 10 digits, 0, 1 through 9. 1 through 9, those digits are always significant. 0 is dependent. Number 2, a 0 that is after the decimal point. If I have a number, 1,234 and 12 hundredths. So it's going to be 1234.12. So the far 1 on the left, the far 1 is where you start. You read the number from left to right, 1,234, and that's the decimal point, 12 hundredths. Well, as I read from left to right, the far 2, the digit on the far right is going to be the final digit. If I put a 0 next to that, so it was 1,234 and 120 thousandths, that 0 on the far right would be the final digit. And according to rule number 2, a 0 that is after the decimal point, to the right, to the far right, and is a final digit, is a significant figure. A 0 with a bar is a sig fig. Simple. A 0 bound on the right by a written-in decimal point and nothing else is a sig fig. Like 40 point, 500 point, 6,000 point. If that point wasn't there, then that 0 next to it would not be significant. But given this situation, the 0 right next to the decimal point is significant. And then finally, any 0 between 2 sig figs is a sig fig. Now, let's look at rule number 3. If I have 40 and then I have the point there, that 0 is significant according to rule 3b and the 4 is significant according to rule 1. In 500 point, the 0 right next to it is identified as a significant figure according to rule 3b, and the 5 is a significant figure according to rule 1. The 0 in the middle, right next to the 5, to the right of the 5, is significant because of rule 4. Any 0 between 2 sig figs is a sig fig. So there are the 4 rules. Write them down. Memorize them if you have to. And then apply them, and apply them, and apply them, and apply them. And practice, and practice, and practice, and practice. Let's do some examples. We have 6 problems here. Upper left, upper right, middle left, middle right, lower left, lower right. Okay. In the upper left, you have 7 significant figures. 2,000.000. 2 is significant because of rule 1. The far 0 on the right is after the decimal point, and it is a final digit. So according to rule 2, that's significant. And then rule 3, there are no bars, and we have zeros after the decimal point, so rule 3b doesn't apply either. However, because the 2 and the final 0 are significant, everything between is significant. 20, same basic problem. The 2 and the last 0, and then everything in between. Middle left, 50,000, The 0 next to the decimal point is significant. The 5 is significant, everything in between. 500, that 0 is significant, the 5 is significant, and then the 0 in between. Lower left, you have 2 million. You have the bar over a 0, that's significant. The 2 is significant, everything in between. Same thing with the bottom right. So you have 7, 4, 5, 3, 5, 3. Those are the number of significant figures in each problem, reading left to right, left to right, left to right. Okay, let's look at the next slide with some more examples. I'm just going to let you look at these. I'm going to go away. And if you have a question about any of these, you ask me in class. That's the most assured way to understand this. If you're lost, if you don't understand it, then you tell me, and I'll help you. But this is very similar to the last slide. We have applied all the rules. Notice two things. One, I've applied all the rules. Notice that the zeros that are identified by the fourth rule makes everything very simple. And also notice, look at upper left. You have those first 3 zeros. Those are not significant. Look at middle right, 6,000. Those 3 zeros are not significant. If they were written in decimal point, they would be. Look at lower right, 940,000. That final 0 is not after the decimal point. It is not identified as significant. Neither is lower left. Clear? Looks like the same value, actually. Well, that was a mistake, but that's okay. Now, so look at those. Look at those. I'll let this run and see what you can do with this. You know what? I'll say goodbye and I'll make the movie. Have a good day. Make sure you ask me in class if you have a question. And goodbye.